Thank you, Aaron.
Call to order the Planning Commission meeting Thursday, March 9th. I guess we'll have a roll call.
Yes. Joe Chappell,
Yes. Here.
Abe Gassenpour,
Here.
Brent Limford,
Here.
Don McBride, absent. Aaron Rooney, absent, but we still have a quorum.
All right. Any public comments? We have those here. You can do that.
Yes, we can, but there are none.
There are none. Item number 3 is approval of previous minutes from the February 9th, 2023 regular meeting.
At this point, there's 2 of them here, but since the other one won't be here anymore because he missed, well, I guess Aaron, we can probably table that until Aaron's here, so there's all
All
3
right,
of
we'll
them.
table that.
Who's not gonna be here anymore?
Oh, Don McBride. Actually, Joe and Don, that's our last meeting.
Oh.
Because they term out.
Yeah, they're kicking us to the curb.
Yep. So, so we'll table it till next time.
Item number 4 is PC application number 23-002. Discussion and possible action on a request to rezone a 10,500 square foot property located at 723 North 20th Street, Capitol Heights, 4th Edition, Block 1, north 70 feet of lots 1 through 5, from R1, which is single family, to dwelling district to R2, general residential district, and a request for a special use permit to allow for a parking lot associated with a commercial use within the R2 general residential zoning district for a 10,500 square foot property located at 723 North 20th Street, Capitol Heights, 4th Edition, Block 1, north 70 feet of lots 1 through 5. Staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you indicated, there's a couple things going on. One's a rezone and one's a special use permit. This is kind of like an item we had not too long ago where we were running them concurrently because we're dealing with the same property. This property is North 20th Street, so it's in the northwest part of our community, right along College, basically the corner of College and North 20th Street. As you indicated, there's a rezone which is going from R1 to R2, but then also a special use permit. I just want to mention again that we're running them concurrently because it's the same property, but the rezone can be approved. If the rezone's approved, then we go to the special use permit, and that could be approved or denied in that. But if you basically deny the rezone, there's no need to hear the special use permit because the special use permit's contingent on that zoning. The parcel for zoning, our comprehensive plan designates that single-family residential, which is most of the western part, but with our outdated comprehensive plan, if that comprehensive plan were done today, it would mimic what we have kind of in the central and eastern part where it would be limited multifamily type uses, where we would, maybe have duplexes or even homes with accessory dwelling units, et cetera, et cetera. So in this case, I don't think it would be necessary to hold to the comprehensive plan land use designation because it's rather outdated for that area. But even if it went to R2 per our current code, let's say they decide you approve the rezone and they decide not to do a parking lot, it could only have 2 units on it anyway. So the most they could have is a duplex, which would be more than fitting given the area or that area. And it's also within the overlay district, which would make sure that it has the design and architectural elements associated with it. So based on that part, staff didn't have any issue with the parcel going to R2. Now on to the special use permit. As was indicated, they're looking to have a parking lot associated with the commercial use. In the zoning code, it does allow a parking lot associated with a commercial use as a special use permit in the R2 zoning district. Their business is literally across the street on College. It's the veterinary clinic that's right across the street. This parcel is obviously right on the corner, so it's right next to and obviously would work very well for additional parking that they want to have. They don't have a lot of area in front of their business or the area to provide the parking, and obviously that's why they're looking to put some parking on this parcel so the customers can have some additional area to park. The site plan you'll see is they're looking to have an entrance off of 20th, or on 20th, and an exit off of College, and basically a one-way in there with parking on each side. So it kind of work like a parking aisle at a commercial business where you come in one end and go out the other. With the entrance off of 20th, it's far enough away from the intersection, and of course the exit far enough away from the intersection that there should not be a whole lot of vehicular conflicts in that area. If the entrance was a little closer to the intersection, there might be some issue there. The property to the south is developed. There is an existing fence between those properties. At first, I thought it was the property to the south that had it, but it's actually the subject property. So there's already a physical barrier to basically protect the residential from a proposed parking. And one of the conditions would be that that fence would always have to remain there as long as there's a parking lot in order to ensure that we have that barrier. So having said all that, staff recommends that the rezone from R1 to R2 be approved, and then the special use permit to allow for the parking lot be approved with the condition that a drainage and drainage plans shall be submitted for review and approved by the city before construction of the parking lot. If the existing fence on the property were to be removed, or basically make the condition where that fence could not be removed, there would have to maintain at least a minimum of a 6-foot fence on the property. And then finally, the special use permit would expire if the use was discontinued for more than a year. So with that, I give it back to the commission. The applicant is here if you have any questions of them.
Do we have any questions?
The question that I have, may I ask, if your full intention is to be a parking lot,
If you
why
could
do
go
we
to
have
the
to
mic,
rezone
thanks, Cory.
it?
Yeah, thank you.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
That's probably
My
a
question
question for Dan.
was, if the full intention that you have is just to be in a parking lot,
Yes,
why does it have to be rezoned to R2 then? I mean, it's just a parking lot in R1 or whatever it is, it's just, what is the
Yeah,
difference?
I can answer that, because in our code, that's the way it's set in our code. You can only have a parking lot or a standalone parking lot within a commercial use in an R2. It's currently zoned R1, so per our code, you could not put a parking lot there per the zoning. That's why.
Yeah, and Abe, I think, you know, if my memory serves me correctly, when the parking lot that we have next to the nursing home across from the museum, that was all single housing, and we had to get that changed before of course, to even add on to the nursing home, we had to get that changed. But, the parking lot is the same way.
It's gonna be an asphalt or concrete? Concrete?
Yeah, because per the code, it has to be hard surfaced, either asphalt or concrete. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I prefer to have a place, I mean, with their business in general, to have a place to park rather than blocking the streets or just really a congestion in the streets. So as far as the parking, it's good for us. I don't know why should be any problem. The man, his business is expanding and he wants to have more parking lots. So I don't know why not, if the parking lot requires to be a commercial, so why not commercial? Why not zone it commercial, then the parking lot is allowed?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, again, a land use thing. Commercial in that area was not as fitting, because with the R2, like I said, at least if we rezone it to R2, And they decide, okay, I don't want a parking lot anymore. We have a zoning that's more conducive for that residential area and that area, so then somebody could go and build a house on it, or even build maybe a duplex, like I said. If we zone it commercial, the same thing could happen, but you're gonna truly have a commercial use there. And I'm not sure on that intersection, given the size of the parcel, that a commercial business would be conducive in that. So that was the main reason.
So the parking is commercial.
Yeah, it's for the commercial business, correct, yeah. But what I'm saying is if the commercial goes away, it's zoned R2, so it would still just maintain a residential use.
It'd expire and go in.
Yeah, right, because they may down the road find parking elsewhere or whatever and decide, okay, we don't want that anymore, and they could build on it or sell it, and somebody could build a house on it. Yeah. And we wouldn't have to worry about the zoning.
But as it stands with the proposal, they couldn't build a structure on that.
No, that's correct, because right now they have the special use permit. So, yeah, the special use permit would limit it to that type of use in that. So they would basically either have to get the special use permit taken away, if you want to say, or let it expire, and then they could go back to the underlying zoning.
So if this property is zone R2, how long do they have to have an R2 building in there? I mean, if the intention is just only parking, so is that thing ever expires? Be
No,
zoned
not
R-
once the use goes. The only time it expires is when you don't basically implement what was approved. So if you get a special use permit and you sit on it and don't do anything, after a year it expires. So, but once you implement the use, whether it's a parking lot, whether it's, whatever it's for, it basically is vested. And so then it goes with the land, and as long as the use stays active, it could be there. So that, it could be a parking lot for 100 years if they continued that use.
Do I have a motion?
I'll have a motion to approve it.
Well, yeah, and
We
just
have
to,
to motion to approve the rezone.
yeah, I was gonna say, because it would be
Yeah.
best if you do right separate. Do the rezone first, and then we'll do the special use permit.
So a motion to approve the rezoning.
Okay.
That's it.
Second.
Second, okay. 1 second, Joe. Okay, Abe Gassenpour,
Yes.
Brent Linford, and Joe Chappell.
Yes.
All right, the rezone passes 3-0. Now we have the special use permit.
Which would allow for the parking. Do I-
That, correct.
Do I have a motion to approve the special use permit?
Personally, Mr. Chair, I mean, I know their business is there, and I think for the best of Guthrie there, I prefer to have a parking for their businesses rather than blocking, so I'll make a motion for approval.
Okay. And is that what staff conditions?
Pardon me?
Is that what
With the
staff-
cities, yes,
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 okay.
yes.
And I'll second that.
Okay, we got Gassenpour and second by Linford. All right. So, Abe Gassenpour,
Yes.
Brent Linford,
Yes.
and Joe Chappell.
Yeah.
All right, so that passes 3-0. So perfect. And then this will go to the, where the heck are we, or March, April, the first council meeting in April. I'll send the exact date in that. Yep.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Were you related to,
Good luck.
were you guys related to Barney
I'm
Parker?
not, strangely enough.
Huh?
Strangely enough, I don't believe that I am.
Oh, he was a vet that I knew in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, when I first started.
I don't know if I don't even know if he's still alive.
I think he's alive, he retired here a while ago, he may have passed away.
Yeah, he was considerably older than I was, but
Yeah.
I
I always get asked, are you the one in Guthrie? or
I
not?"
just, when you
Yeah.
first opened up here, I just assumed you were a nephew or a cousin. or-
Related,
Yeah,
not that I know of.
all right. Any staff comments?
Yes, as I was saying earlier, this is Joe's last meeting as well as Don McBride, so I just wanted to recognize them and say thank you for their time on the planning commission in that and their efforts put forth in that and their service to the city.
Thank you. Do we have any commission comments? Commissioner,
Sure, thank you, that I missed you.
it's been a long haul.
So how long is it?
It's been a long
I did
time.
at least 2 terms,
Yeah, because you had a partial term and then you had 2 full terms. Yeah,
so I don't know, what?
yeah, so I was gonna say 7, 8 years,
7 or 8
something like
years.
that, yeah.
I didn't have gray hair then.
Yeah, either did I.
Well, thank you all. Meeting